2010, I played with Ken Munshaw and Beverly Mahood. We played for the G8 summit in Huntsville, and we're in a little room at the can't think of the name of the place in Huntsville. You know, that big hotel in Huntsville, wherever it was. I'll think of the name in a second. And we're playing for the leaders, and basically the G8 leaders are sitting there, and we played 3 songs, and I shook hands with them.
So that would have been 2010. That would have been Harper, Obama.
Yeah, Merkel, Putin. I shook hands with Vladimir Putin.
That's awesome.
It's like, really? And I got my picture taken with Obama, and he signed my guitar.
Nice.
So, and when we came in to do the songs, the staff, whoever in their wisdom, had moved all our gear to the other side of the room. So when I plugged in, we sat down and there's no sound check anymore. My gear didn't work. My acoustic guitar no longer was going through the PA.
Yeah.
And I have no time to try and find out what's going on. I'm looking down and the lights are going on for me. My stuff's working, but it's not coming out of the PA. And I look over at the sound man over their heads, and he just shrugs. Thanks, pal. So I wound up playing acoustic guitar in the room without it being plugged in, which happily was a pin. You could have heard a pin drop in there, so it wasn't that bad. But I had to do the intro to the third song on my guitar, so I had to pull my vocal mic down and play the acoustic into the mic. I went, really? On this gig, I have to do that? You know. But that was, you know, shaking hands with David Cameron and the Japanese Prime Minister, who I don't remember his name, unfortunately.
So how was Vladimir Putin in real life?
He was pretty reserved. Like, he just sort of shook hands and nodded to me, and
Was he rocking to your songs when you were playing, or?
no, I think he was probably somewhat distracted, like, what am I doing here? And Obama was like on his phone, and people were passing him notes, you know.
Probably
You know,
about Putin. It's like a...
You know, like the North Koreans have just attacked or something, and he's like, you know, nodding and handing it back and so on, and whatever sort of notes you pass the President of the United States. And I didn't shake hands with Angela Merkel because she was on her phone when everybody came up. But shaking hands with David Cameron, the Prime Minister of England, and he's like, brilliant. It was just brilliant. This is very nice. That was the best one that I could, when I called my father. He didn't, because us being British, my dad being British, the best thing I could have said to my father ever was, I shook hands with the British Prime Minister today. And I was like, nothing impressed him more ever in my life that I've ever done than that. And so he doesn't care. Obama, yeah, whatever. That was great. But it was cool meeting Obama because we waited for him outside the door, and he came out and he's like, comes over to me and he goes, really enjoyed it. Great vocals, you know, and let's get a picture.
Nice.
You know, and and I had this white guitar, so I went to hand it to him to sign, and like the security Secret Service just about dove on me. Like, you don't hand the president something, you give it to us, and then we look at it, and then we hand it to him. So,
oh, really? Eh?
Yeah. And I went to even give him my Sharpie, and the guy just goes, no. You know. And he said after, he says, I said something about, sorry about the Sharpie. He says, oh, don't worry. He says, we're given a box of them with the job.
No.
So that was probably like the highest profile gig that I probably ever.
So did you even talk to Harper at all, or no?
Yeah, because he was a friend of, the reason we even got in there is because Ken Munshaw, who I play with, is a friend of Stephen Harper's and often has visited with him in Ottawa and so on. So they had got in through, him and Beverly had been friends through Brett Wilson, who was from Alberta, who the Dragon's Den. That circle of friends. Kenny has some high roller friends. And so Stephen Harper plays keyboards.
So did he want to sit in and jam with you
Oh,
guys?
he sat down at Kenny's piano and played a song, like just played around for a minute when we were doing sound check, and just, you know, talked to me for a second and so on. So, you know, I didn't say much with him, but yeah, he was just sort of hanging out with us because he wanted to hang out with the band, you know.
So the RCMP weren't sort of getting between you and
No,
him?
they weren't worried about us taking him out for some reason.
They were asking you if you had a pen. You got a pen, buddy?
Bye.